हमारी बस आने वाली होती थी तो हम सड़क के किनारे खड़े रहते थे अपना अपना सामान लेके, लेकिन मेरे बाबूजी जो है वो वहाँ पे नहीं होते थे, वो गांव में होते थे। गांव में जा कर के वो कहीं ना कहीं से कर्ज वगैरह ले करके आके फिर हम सब लोगों को 200, 150, 300 जिसकी जैसी ज़रूरत होती थी उसको पैसे देते थे। माई मदर वॉज वेरी टेम्परामेंट, quite hard. She was very hard, very tough. Not easy for any man to take that kind of a temper. But he never, ever, spoke to her badly. Shari comes to my house and she's in awe of him. And the person who is the main guy in the family man, she didn't even tell me how was I, what it was that she liked about it. No, nothing. Papa, who are those children? Why can't I be doing what they have done? It was very difficult to deal with it when me and my brothers went back to the village, to our house, in their absence. That was very difficult. It just tore our heart completely. For me and my wife, we dealt with our grief in the manner that we could. It was very hard for my daughter. For a child of that age to understand death, and 4 deaths in a row, was not easy for her to deal with.
Hello everyone, I am Rudrani and welcome to a very special episode of Speak Easy. This is the Father's Day special. My guest today is among India's most talented actors. You have loved his films, you have loved him, and I am of course talking about the extremely talented Manoj Bajpayee. Thank you for joining in the show, Manoj. It's always lovely to chat with you.
Oh.
Thank you so much. I call this letters to my dad, and we all know the kind of impact our fathers have in our lives. And I know that, Manoj, you share a very deep bond with your father. You always.
Yes. Oh, yes.
मुझे ये भी पता है कि आप एक्टर है इसलिए क्योंकि आपके पापा चाहते थे कि आप कुछ बने, आप ग्रेजुएशन करें, आप बने, उनका ड्रीम था और वो सपना आपने बहुत ही बेखूबी निभाया है। तो मैं वहाँ शुरुआत करना चाहूँगी। And let's talk about the father that your father was.
Oh, my father, I think, मतलब एक फार्मर किसान आदमी, ग्रेजुएट थे और उस समय में ग्रेजुएट होना बहुत बड़ी बात मानी जाती थी और 6 बच्चे हैं उनके, लेकिन just 1.5 years back he passed away and he was not keeping well. उस दौरान तक मैंने उनसे जैसा जेंटल आदमी, जेंटल मर्द नहीं देखा मैंने। इतना जेंटल मर्द मैंने तो नहीं देखा है, मैं तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं उतना जेंटल। उनकी कुछ चीज़ें हैं हम सब लोगों के अंदर में, लेकिन हम सब भाई बहनों में वो जेंटलनेस भी किसी के अंदर नहीं आया। आई रियली फील दैट माई मदर वॉज वेरी लकी दैट शी वॉज मैरिड टू दैट गाय। इट्स ऑलवेज अदर वे अराउंड। ये आप आदमी को कहते हैं कि यू आर वेरी लकी दैट यू आर मैरिड टू दिस लेडी, बट in these people's case, I would say that my mother was very lucky because my mother was very temperamental, quite hard. She was very hard, very tough. Not easy for any man to take that kind of a temper. But he never, ever, spoke to her badly. He's taken everything from her, he absorbed it, as if he was some kind of a sponge, okay? That quality of my father, I loved it. He respected my mother nonetheless. He stood by her, and he let her dictate and lead the family. He only said yes. He never kind of objected or questioned her decision. That was my father, and it's very easy to be that. Very, very difficult to be. It's very, very difficult to be that kind of a man. And in today's world, it's very difficult. I'm not that. Okay. You know, I'm not that gentle. Yeah, I'm not that gentle. That was something else. It was a God's gift, I feel. And even when he was on his deathbed, he kept on saying the right thing. Kept on saying the right thing. Never minced his word. Never. He was always very honest. Always said things which came from his heart. But someone being that gentle, not only with his wife, with his children, 6 children. And one thing that I have learned from him, he never said impossible. He never said it can't happen.
एक आदमी जिसके 6 बच्चे हैं और उन सबको जो है बोर्डिंग में भी जाना होता है छुट्टी के बाद, वो हमारी बस आने वाली होती थी तो हम सड़क के किनारे खड़े रहते थे अपना अपना सामान लेके, लेकिन मेरे बाबूजी जो है वो वहाँ पे नहीं होते थे, वो गांव में होते थे। गांव में जा कर के वो कहीं ना कहीं से कर्ज वगैरह ले करके आके फिर हम सब लोगों को 200, 150, 300 जिसकी जैसी ज़रूरत होती थी उसको पैसे देते थे। जब तक बस आती थी तब तक वो हमेशा पहुंच जाते थे। मतलब ये रूटीन चलता रहा जब तक हम बोर्डिंग में थे, 10 साल 11 साल। और वो आदमी, उस आदमी ने किसी का एजुकेशन नहीं रुकने दिया और उनकी हमेशा इच्छा थी कि मेरे सारे बच्चे 6 के 6 ग्रेजुएट हों। और भगवान की दया से हम सब लोग ग्रेजुएट हैं और अच्छे ग्रेजुएट हैं। एवरीबडी इज सेटल्ड, एवरीबडी हैज़ देयर ओन फैमिली। टुडे आवर पेरेंट्स आर नो मोर, बट one thing I can say proudly, that all our brothers and sisters made it sure that that they go away happy, and they were very satisfied and happy by the time it was their time to go away.
और ग्रीफ बहुत पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस होता है, किस तरह से आप उस ग्रीफ को प्रोसेस कर सके। एंड मुझे पता है कि आपकी बहुत इज्जत है दोनों, for your father and for your mother, and I know you recently lost as well. I'm really sorry about that. But मुझे ये जानना है, आप how did you channel through that grief? वो जो एक खालीपन सा जो महसूस होता है, how did you channel through that?
You know, difficult is not to deal with it from a distance from Bombay. It was very difficult to deal with it when me and my brothers went back to the village, to our house, in their absence. That was very difficult. It just tore our heart completely, because you are getting up in the morning and you are about to call your mother for a cup of tea, about to call your father to come and sit with you. So every corner, by every pillar, in every courtyard, you know, we felt the presence of them. And when I was leaving the house finally, that was the only time I broke down, only time. Otherwise, I'm very good with dealing with grief and death. Because I'm mostly detached. I have always been like that. Seen deaths in my childhood. Also because of the spiritual practices, you know that it is not the end, you know it's just a transit, okay? You know the soul's existence, you know the soul's journey. One thing that there I was completely not so affected, but I was rather very happy that they have led their life the way they wanted, and they went away on a happy note. They were satisfied. But when we were leaving our village home, that was the time it was, I think it was tough. It was as if I'm bidding them goodbye forever. That I never wanted to do, you know. So that feeling was something, it's very difficult to explain. But I was feeling that not only I'm living this house forever, because without your parents, your ancestral house means nothing.
Yeah.
It
Bilkul.
means, you know, you always felt like going back to it, not because of the house or
the people that
or the property that they had, is because of those people. And after that, I think the urge to go back has diminished by 50%. And that is what made me very emotional about it.
मुझे पता है कि आप फूडी हो और मुझे पता है कि आप फूडी हो और you know
बहुत कंट्रोल करता हूँ मैं,
है ना?
पूरा।
But मुझे पता है कि like for me one thing I really miss,
Yeah.
like I told you I was Bengali, I really just want to eat वो घर का जो दाल चावल होता है ना,
Definitely.
और मुझे जानना है कि आपका वो comfort food जो है, जो मम्मी के हाथों का दाल चावल यार, I don't know if your father was a cook as well. And
You know, my father used to help my mother in all the other things, but my mom, not that she was a master chef.
Yeah.
But whatever she used to cook, she used to put in a lot of heart into it.
I love.
Yeah.
जी.
So only for her children. Her curry, curry pakora was something to die for. That I'll definitely miss. You know, when it comes to food, who I miss very badly, and she passed away just a year back. And it's very difficult. You know, in 2 years, 2.5 years, me and my wife lost our parents. And when it comes to food, I miss my mother-in-law mostly. When I'm going to Delhi for some function, some promotion, again I'm going back for promotion. So on the way from the airport, we always cross my wife's house, and we've never visited after they passed away. It's all locked. I don't feel like going there. You know, once I went there, and I felt that, you know, she's calling me, you know, calling me up to have lunch. She was a great cook. You know, the good food for me, good food started from there and it ended there. It was an amazing cook. So 4 years. What Rudrani, for me and my wife, we dealt with our grief in the manner that we could. It was very hard for my daughter. For a child of that age to understand death, and 4 deaths in a row, was not easy for her to deal with. Very, very difficult. I know that this has changed her completely. I know that she's not the same child that she used to be. She is still dealing with the death and the concept of death.
But you have that kind of bond with your child as well,
Yes,
right? Like how you had that.
I mean, I have that, but more than me also. My wife is very good in dealing with these kind of things, you know, together with our daughter. She explains things to her very beautifully. But sometimes she remembers her nani mostly, because her nani was very close to her. Sometimes she just goes in the bathroom, close the door, 11-year-old child, 12-year-old, and she cries, she washes her face and comes out, not to show anyone that she cried. So the death today for her is a normal thing. This is what 4 deaths have done to her. I know that it will be very easy for her in future to deal with any kind of death. But this is exactly what death has done to me in my childhood. When I was thinking that, you know, my parents are there for forever.
Forever.
And then suddenly there are deaths in the family, and you are hammered. You are woken up from a deep slumber in that, you know, age, and made you realize that, no boss, this is just temporary, you know. I know this has happened to my daughter, but in a massive way.
Do you remember the moments where your parents truly you could see the pride in them, particularly your father? Because मुझे पता है आप इतने प्यार से बात करते हैं ना उनके बारे में. There's so much respect.
Yeah, no,
Do you remember that those few moments in your life where you looked at them and you could see him beaming with pride कि नहीं मैं ना आज मतलब नाज है.
No. I mean, when I went for Padma Shri,
है ना?
I took him. My mother was in the hospital. She was getting treated. She could not accompany me.
क्या कहा उन्होंने?
Nothing. This was the beautiful thing about my father, that he just loved being there, being part of that gathering, meeting the Prime Minister, the President, personally, all of them meeting him, congratulating him for his son. And he was beaming with pride and joy. My wife was also there. So, you know, this is what I'm so happy that God has made me that much capable to give him that before he passed away, or before both of them passed away. So this is, and this is where you feel that, life has been good. There's nothing to complain.
You remember him every day. But if there were like letters, like I said, letters to my father, if you had few things that you would have liked to tell him even now, what would that be?
We were very vocal about our feelings.
You have always been.
Yeah.
आपको याद है कभी एक ऐसा इमोशनल मोमेंट जब उन्होंने कहा था? Because मुझे पता है आप वैसे होंगे.
मेरे फादर जो है ज़्यादातर अपने इमोशन अपने लेटर में डालते थे जब मैं थिएटर करता था. अच्छा. उसके बाद से लेटर लिखना बंद हो गया क्योंकि धीरे धीरे कम्युनिकेशन बहुत ईजी होता गया. जी. कम्युनिकेशन ईजी होने के कारण जो है वो ज़्यादा फिर आप एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पाते हो एक दूसरे के साथ में, खास करके जब छोटी जगह से आते हो. अपने वो एक्सप्रेस बहुत अच्छा करते थे अपने लेटर्स में, और उनकी हैंड राइटिंग बहुत अच्छी होती थी. बेसिकली कि मतलब वो एक बहुत अच्छी बात जो उन्होंने कहा था कि तुमने बड़े भाई का नहीं, तुमने हमेशा एक बाप का फ़र्ज़ निभाया है. दैट वाज द बेस्ट थिंग दैट ही कुड से. एंड आई ऑलवेज फील वेरी प्राउड ऑफ that sentiment. Somewhere I felt that I've never let him down as his elder son.
And you must have been so proud to see you in the theater the first time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
कब था वो?
Oh, that was a long time back. I think Satya. Yeah. Satya. But before that, he watched Swaiman or that satellite जो soap करता था मैं. फिर तमन्ना में भी देखा था, लेकिन वो जो सत्या जब देखा था उसके बाद जो है, because he himself was a film buff. His understanding of performances was impeccable. He was a fan of Balraj Sahni and Motilal and Dilip Sahab. Okay.
मनोज कुमार आपका नाम? Am I right? इसलिए मनोज आपका नाम पड़ा.
मनोज नाम रखा था उन्होंने मनोज कुमार साहब के नाम के कारण. He himself was a film buff, as I said. तो मेरी परफॉर्मेंसेस के बारे में बहुत अच्छे से चर्चा करते थे, बहुत बारीकी से बात करते थे वो, क्योंकि वो फिल्म बहुत ज़्यादा देखते थे और हमको फिल्म बहुत दिखाते थे वो छोटे में. तो उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत कमाल हो गई थी फिल्म देखते देखते.
Amazing, isn't it? But fantastic.
Thank you.
I know that you are also a wonderful father. A quality of yours that your wife and your child has said is very annoying about you, and one thing that you feel they really like. वही सबसे honest होते हैं ना.
एक तो उनकी मेरी क्वालिटी नहीं, मतलब जब मैं रहता हूँ तो कुछ ना कुछ देखता रहता हूँ, तो बोथ ऑफ देम कंप्लेन कि यार तुम हमारे घर पे भी बैठे रहते हो तो हमारे साथ टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करते हो. यू आर ओनली देयर जस्ट टू टेल द वर्ल्ड दैट आई एम एट होम.
ड्यूटी.
या बट मेरी बेटी हैरी पॉटर 20वीं बार देख रही होती है और कहती है कि आगे बैठो. मैं कैसे देख सकता हूँ?
अभी क्या कर सकते, एक बार देख ले आपकी फिल्में तब वो भी देखेंगी.
हाँ, वो भी फैमिली में फर्स्ट सीजन देखा था उसने.
और क्या कहा था उन्होंने? हाँ, आई रिमेंबर.
शी इज बिकम अ फैन ऑफ शारी हाशमी एंड ऑल ऑफ दोस पीपल, श्रेया एंड प्रियमणि एंड ऑल बोथ द चिल्ड्रन. एंड Shari comes to my house and she's in awe of him. And the person who is the main guy in the family, she didn't even tell me how was I, what it was that she liked about it. No, nothing. Papa, who are those children? Why can't I be doing what they have done? I said कि तुम्हारी हिंदी क्या खराब है.
आपने बोला उसकी हिंदी खराब. वो तो ज़्यादातर एक्टर्स की है मनोज. ये आपने बोला नहीं इसको, ये सच. नहीं, आपकी हिंदी इतनी क्लियर है, मतलब आपने बोला नहीं.
एक तो मुंबई में बच्चे जो पढ़ते हैं बेचारे क्या करें, क्योंकि और इंग्लिश मीडियम में तो पढ़ने वाले बच्चों की हिंदी खराब
फाइन. और फाइन लगता है अगर आप इंग्लिश इंग्लिश में हिंदी में बात करें स्कूल में, कॉन्वेंट में।
या तो अब मुंबई के बच्चों में खास करके ना बेचारों को हिंदी आती ना मराठी आती है, और अंग्रेजी भी जो है ठीक खींच खाच की अच्छी आती है।
डामाडोल तो है हर जगह ही। पर मुझे ये जानना है कि तू संतुष्ट हो गए उस आंसर से? मतलब बला टाल दिया अपनी बोला अभी के लिए वो हो नहीं सकता है, तुम्हारा इंटरेस्ट बिल्कुल मत दिखाओ।
Sharif, how she, my goodness, when she looked, when Sharif entered my house as if Tom Cruise is entering my house.
घर की मुर्गी दाल
दाल
बराबर।
बराबर,
बताइए अब क्या कर सकते हैं? कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसके बारे में।
कुछ नहीं।
But कोई नहीं, I very well know that they're very proud of you, of course. बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है वो तो।
I mean, I just hope so.
Hopes यार दिखा देनी ऐसे होता है ना,
ये भी
दिल
है।
से तो I'm sure when she goes to school and everybody knows that, right? I'm sure.
And then she tells me not to go to her school to fetch her, because she feels embarrassed that everyone is coming to me and asking for autograph and photograph. She feels embarrassed and she asked me not to come to her school. Can you believe that? Instead of feeling proud that yes, her papa, her friends love her papa. No, don't come.
कुछ साल दे दीजिए, you will be the person who will be, they have to use the name and say, this is not happening, but listen, all my friends, can you please get? तो तब आपको उनकी value.
हाँ, मैंने कहा तुम्हारे दोस्त मुझे पसंद करते हैं, तुम ही पसंद नहीं करती हो यार।
I'm sure that's not true. But anyway, thank you, Manoj.
Thank you, Rudrani.
For trusting in me, and thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And like I said, we are very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
बहुत
you.
सारा प्यार। करना ही था थोड़ा एंड में।
करना होगा।
सही किया आपने।
पता नहीं ऐसे करते हैं ना।
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Manoj. You are an amazing father, and I'm sure your daughter's very proud of you. Thank you for joining in. A very happy Father's Day to all of you. I hope you all have a great time and keep watching Zoom.